Hi, Thrivers. Welcome back to Empowered Uncoupling, where we talk about all things divorce, housing, and creating a fresh start. Today, we're going to dive into something I see all the time in my work as a divorce mortgage specialist: what your attorney might miss in your mortgage strategy. Now, let me be really clear. Attorneys are amazing at what they do. They're trained in the law, they protect your rights, negotiate agreements, and draft all the necessary legal documents. But when it comes to financial side of things, of keeping or selling a home, especially when a mortgage is involved, there's really big gaps. And those gaps can cost you thousands of dollars or even prevent you from keeping your home you want for yourself and your kids. So if you're new here, I'm Tami Wallensack. I'm a divorce mortgage specialist with over 30 years in the mortgage industry. I help divorcing homeowners understand the options so that they can make confident, informed decisions about their home and their financial future. And I don't just come at this as a professional, I've lived it myself. And when I went through my own divorce back in 2015, I made mistakes with my housing decision. I didn't have the right guidance. I ended up keeping a home that wasn't the best fit financially for me long term. Looking back, I know if I had had someone walk me through the mortgage side clearly, I would have avoided years of unnecessary stress. That's why I'm so passionate about this work, because I don't want you to repeat the same mistakes I made. So today, I'm going to walk you through the most common blind spots attorneys may overlook, what you need to do to protect yourself and make the best financial decisions for your future. So let's start here. Attorneys are not always trained in mortgage guidelines. They don't sit through Fannie Mae or FHA training. They don't run debt to income ratios every day. Their job is to finalize your divorce settlement in a way that is legally sound. That means they may say things like, you keep the house and refinance within 6 months. That sounds fine on paper, but what if you can't actually qualify for the refinance? Maybe your income isn't enough. Maybe the way support is structured doesn't meet lender guidelines. So here's a real life example. I worked with a client whose attorney wrote in her decree that she'd refinance within 90 days. But child support payments don't count as qualified income for conventional loans until you've received them for 6 months. Well, guess what happened? She couldn't refinance. She was technically in violation of her divorce agreement. And that ended up creating a lot more stress and making a already difficult situation way more difficult for her. Another common blind spot is this: attorneys often treat the house only as an asset. They focus on dividing equity. You keep the house, pay your spouse half the equity, done. But here's the truth: the house is also a liability. It comes with a mortgage, property taxes, maintenance, and all ongoing costs of home ownership. If these costs don't align with your post divorce budget, you could end up house poor. That's why I always encourage clients to slow down and ask, can I qualify for the mortgage on my income alone? Does the support I'm receiving actually count as income with lenders? Am I overlooking other debts that will affect my approval? Your attorney isn't running those numbers, but I am. And this is exactly where legal and financial strategy need to work hand in hand. There's another area attorneys often miss: how lenders view support income. On paper, you may be awarded child support or spousal support in your decree. It looks great, but lenders don't just take that at face value. Conventional loans require 6 months of documented payments before they count support as income. FHA loans only require 3 months, but FHA loans have other restrictions like property types and higher costs. So if your decree says refinance in 90 days and the only way you can qualify is by using support income, that's a really big problem. This is where planning matters. If you brought it up early enough, I can help your attorney structure the timeline in your agreement to match what lenders actually require. That small detail could be the difference between qualifying or being stuck in default. So here's another blind spot: the difference between being on the deed versus being on the mortgage. Your attorney may prepare a quitclaim deed transferring ownership of the property, but that does not remove you from the mortgage debt. If the loan is still in both names, both spouses remain financially responsible. If the person keeping the house misses a payment, the other spouse's credit is impacted too. That can really damage their ability to buy a new home or refinance down the road. That's why I always stress, make sure your settlement agreement spells out not just who gets the house, but also how and when the mortgage will be refinanced into a single name. Otherwise, you're leaving one person financially exposed. Now let's talk about equity buyouts. Your attorney may calculate equity simply as current value minus loan balance. But how do you get that value? With an appraisal? Here's the catch: if you know you'll need a new mortgage, it's often better to coordinate that appraisal through the lender. Why pay for two separate appraisals, one for the divorce, one for the refinance, when you can streamline and save money? I've seen couples waste thousands of dollars by not planning this step together. That's money that could have gone towards rebuilding your life post-divorce. So what's the best takeaway here? Attorneys are essential, and they're not mortgage strategists. To truly protect yourself, you need both. Think of it this way: your attorney protects your legal rights, and I protect your financial reality. When we work together, we can structure an agreement that is not only fair, but also doable. That means you walk away with your divorce knowing that you qualify for the loan, your credit's safe, and you won't get trapped in a financial mess 6 months down the road. If you're going through a divorce right now, or even just starting to think about it, please don't wait until after the papers are signed to look at the mortgage strategy. By then, it's often too late to fix. I offer consultations where we look at the numbers, your options, and your long-term goals. My mission is to give you clarity and peace of mind so you can make decisions that make you and your family more stable. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video episode where I break down the financial side of divorce in simple, clear terms. And if you found today's episode helpful, drop a comment below. Don't miss any surprises about what attorneys might miss. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Remember, divorce isn't the end of your story. Together, we can transition your ending into new beginnings. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.